Good morning and welcome to another training session for our Snowdon expedition, which we're doing for charity. So if you don't already know, yes, I'm doing a charity walk up to the top of Snowdon, and this is Northamptonshire. We don't have any mountains, therefore I've chose Pitsford Reservoir as my base for training. So today we're going to go this way, anti-clockwise around the Pitsford Reservoir. Last week we went that way, so onwards. It's really busy in the car park at the causeway today, but this is the entrance to the pathway. I've just been asked whether they can, by some kids, whether they can swim here at Pitsford Reservoir. The answer to that is no, it's too dangerous. You get pulled in by the currents. Kind of get why they want to do it. It is very nice here today. The weather's really nice. You can have a nice swim in there, but it is too dangerous, so no swimming is allowed. Somehow I don't think Snowdon is going to be this warm. It's a beautiful day here today, and it's only September. Well, I say it's only September, but it is a beautiful day here today. Very popular with bikes. Just to confirm, no swimming, no launching inflatables, kayaks. Keep your dogs out of the water, particularly in this summer, because there's a lot of green algae around here, and as we know, a lot of pet lot dogs have problems with that sort of stuff if they swallow it. Busy morning today on the path. So, if I haven't mentioned it already, it's about 7.5 miles around here, and we're now coming up on our first mileage marker. Causeway car park, that's where we started from, half a mile, so 7 to go. Look at that view. Wow. Wow. That's dedication, isn't it? Stunning. It's a nice picnic area up there if you want to have a picnic. I bet you get eaten alive by the mozzies in the summer. That farm up there must have one of the best views over the Foot Reservoir going. Absolutely on an elevated area. I bet it's wonderful. Can't see it now because of the bushes. I think some of these signposts definitely could do with some attention, because they're, well, they're just not signposts anymore. We're in the cliffs area. So clear and so flat today. Stunning. That's not for me. I mean, come on, look. Stunning. We're so lucky in this county of Northamptonshire to have this. You can imagine sitting on there, looking out across the view. I imagine that was a favourite pass spot of somebody. Here's another one of those markers we're coming up on. I wonder if I can work out how long we've gone now. So, Causeway car park, where we started from. 1.5 miles. 6 miles to go. Okay, so it's worth mentioning that there is another path into the Pitsford County Park, which I don't normally use, but that tends to go through the woods. But I've never been that way. I must try it one day. To say it's a lot busier today. Just make out a slip for one of the boating slips for canoeing and that, just to the side of what is Northampton Yachting Club. So here we are at another checkpoint. Causeway car park 2 miles. So that means there's 5.5 miles on the path left. However, you can divert if you want. So the bikes come past. You can divert and take this trail, a second trail into the county, which is County Park. There's lots of good information boards along the trail. It's not something that I've actually done. I really need to do it. I can see there's lots of information. We'll make this one to go in the book for a walk that is non-related to the Snowdon challenge, because I'd really like to do this. One to put in my folder. Yes, I think. Anyway, back to the challenge. Onwards. People preparing to launch a boat. So behind the fence here is, well, it's Northampton Yachting Club, private club. People store their yachts, come here at weekends to sail on the Resi. So the path around the lake is about 7.5 miles. However, if you want a pit stop for a refreshment break, you can enter Pitsford Country Park this way and walk up the path to the top, and you'll find restrooms up there and a restaurant. And this is probably your last chance, unless you're going to take a hedge ticket, to use facilities. But this will add on an extra 1/2 mile approximately to your 7.5 miles, taking you up to 8. And in my case, as Snowdon is between 8 and 9 miles to the summit, I need those extra 1/2 miles. It's obviously where one of those tracks I pointed out comes along from. And it is elevated, which will help with the descent, obviously, up to, or the ascent, should I say, up to Snowdon. So it's a bit of a rough track. Next to me is a better track, and I think that must be from one of those paths we saw. So this is Pitsford County Park. Plenty of space for picnics. Some people are enjoying a bit of sunbathing if the weather's good for you. A lovely kiddies area down there, and then up here you have a restaurant and restrooms, and to the right there's a sensory park for the little kids to enjoy. Sensory park, trampoline and things. Look at those thistles. This is the restaurant. Park Bistro. I can 100% guarantee they do a really decent coffee in there. There's an ice cream parlour. Some days it's not open though. And then around here, behind the restaurant, there's public restrooms. Of course, you can go back the way you came, or you can go this way and rejoin the park. I have to say it's more expensive up here than at the Causeway car park. 8 hours for all day. Causeway car park is 3 hours for 12 hours. £3 for 12 hours even. As I said, you can rejoin the path, or a path that leads to the path. Brings you out sort of 50 yards up from where we entered Pitsford County Park from the path. so you're not really missing out that much of the path, but you're actually gaining about half a mile. Just turn down to the right of the children's park and take you back down to the reservoir. That's pretty cool sculpture, isn't it? Have a little look at that. Pretty cool. Anyway, let's rejoin the walk. A few people holidaying in the yacht club. Didn't know they could do that, but tents and caravans suggest they can. I suppose if you're a private member, you're allowed to stay for the weekend. And let's face it, that is pretty stunning. Take the barbed wire away. Pretty stunning scenery to be camped up next to. Anyway, back to the challenge. One of those broken signs. Anyway, the Pines is 2 miles. That's the sailing club. And of course we're going over the dam. Look how stunning the scenery is for miles though. Oh, hot sunny day like today as well. Yeah, absolutely stunning. There's a Pitsford water treatment plant in the distance. Approaching the end of the dam. Those engineers of us. This is the weir system. Obviously it's not running today. I have seen it running though. So if it fills too much, the weir system drains down, and some pumps over there, kind of pumps it back. And then of course there's the main pump hall at the top, draws water. I believe, if I'm right, I might be wrong, the actual reservoir is a storage rather than a direct system water treatment. It actually fills other reservoirs that become our water supply. Anyway, onwards. Now, I would say, and I always have said, that once you cross the dam, you're about halfway. So we're on the opposite side of the lake now, on our way back. I think there's definitely more elevation coming anti-clockwise around the lake even. Don't know if you can see that. No, not currently. We're in one of my favourite parts, or coming up to one of my favourite parts, which is pretty obvious when we get there. Marcus. actually a well, it's a driveway to a few properties, but it's also public footpath. You've just got to watch out for cars here. There's also another car park just there. It's on the Pitsford side of the reservoir. Anyway, I said this is one of my favourite areas, and it is, because visually it's stunning. It's got some wonderful foliage. The weeping willow tree here is amazing, but the thing I really like about this bit is the property that's hidden just here. It is one of my favourite properties that I've seen in Northamptonshire. It's got a stunning location, and deservedly so for a stunning house. Must be very lucky, the people that live here. I mean, come on. How stunning is that? That is amazing. Very lucky people. Wisteria and roses there, amazing. Now we're back on the path. This is a side view of my favourite property. So this part of the walk is called the Pines. Goes on for about a mile, turns a corner down here and goes up a hill. The Pines. But you can't figure out why it's called that. Watch out for the cars. Let's just pull over and through. So fishermen have access to the fishing points, and obviously they need to get their equipment in, so they bring their cars. Over there in the distance is that house I mentioned when we were on the other side. I overlook the lake. If I can get it into focus. As I said, what a stunning place to have a property overlooking this beautiful lake or reservoir. Anyway, onwards. I mean, come on. Awesome. So, here we are. Somewhat a bit further on, 1.5 miles from our last signpost. Causeway is 1 mile, and I know it's half a mile across the causeway to the Causeway car park. So 1.5 miles to go on this stunning early September morning. Beautiful. What more can I wish for? Ah, that's the way to travel. In the trailer, I mean. It's nicely grown up here, but in the winter it looks like a swamp, so I've always referred to it as the swamp area. Does that make you happy? It would make me happy. In the distance corner, more or less directly in front of us is the Causeway car park. And that's where we end today's video and today's training session. It looks a lot closer than it actually is. You know, if there was a little path and bridge that went there, we'd be over there in about 5 minutes. However, the path doesn't go that way. It goes into a wooded area and up a hill a bit. But never mind, I do need some elevation training. And then it sweeps around the corner and up a hill. Back towards the main road. And then of course from here we're out onto the Pitsford to Brixworth Road, which traverses the reservoir on the Causeway. Causeway car park, half a mile. And that's our end destination. As you can see, it's quite a busy road down here. Well, busy footpath as well. So, morning. Just say, if you're walking down here with your young children, then just be aware that it's a main road. It gets very busy. What I'm going to do is just going to take a quick diversion when I can get across the road, just so that I can sort of show you the other side. Wait for this van. Okay. So this is on the other side of the causeway now. So the reservoir does actually continue around, but this side is about, I don't know, I think it's around about 4 miles around. It's mainly a nature reserve. Now you can go around there if you're bird watching, there are hides around there. It's not so easy to walk around. I don't think the track is completely there all the way. It's also the area where Northampton Fisheries launch their boats from. Very noisy this side, and the boats will obviously travel up this part of the reservoir, and then there's an underpass where they can pass under the causeway, quickly walk back across the road before I get run over, and then they enter this side of the reservoir, which is the side that we've walked around, which is 7.5 miles round, and yeah, they fish over this side. So, as I was saying, this is the side we walked around, and we're heading towards our end destination. Now, the reason I put the camera back on is this pipe here. Any guesses what that could be? Well, believe it or not, that is where Northampton Fisheries restock this side of the lake from, this side of the reservoir from. So they'll come over here with their youngsters after from the breeding tanks, and they're all loaded in the lake down what their own little water slide, straight through there into the water, and then yeah, that becomes their new home. When they grow and these guys are out in the boat, they go fishing for them. I have to say, there's been an abundance of blackberries and apples this year, and even out here they're growing. So this green fenced off area on both sides of the road, this actually contains the conduit or corridor. Don't think we can get too close to see. See if I can lift you up. So I can't really see. Anyway, this is the channel from the other side, or the channel, or tunnel, which the fishermen boats pass under to get to this side of the reservoir. The entrance to the car park coming up. Just be careful when you walk into the car park. There's no real pass, and it's a shared access for the cars as well. Just be aware of what might be behind you or in front of you. And there we go. Step over here. There we go, 7.5 miles around the anti-clockwise route, which I think is possibly harder than the clockwise route. It's definitely been a busy morning. What can I say? Good car park. This only costs £3 for 12 hours. You can take your time all day. You got to the county, county or country park car park. I think you'd only get about 2 hours for £3. I think it's something like £6 to £8 for the whole day. So you're probably better off coming down here. If you want it, you can queue up for a nice little ice cream or drink, beverage or whatever. So I'm not going to do it on this occasion. Well, thank you for joining me on another training session for our Snowdon adventure. All I'd say is goodbye, and this is the view behind Blue Eyes.
Talk to me, Goose.